Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. We are in the Airbus A320, our first viewer flight going from Toulouse to Barcelona, roughly an hour long. We're flying today as Air Portugal. It's one of the ones that, I guess, for Europe was released with the 4 Sims livery pack. So we will be flying as that today. And then our second flight for our viewer will be for Crazyvideos. It's a memorial flight for his mom who passed away earlier this week. That will be from Shellharbour to Newcastle in Australia. We will be swapping aircraft once we land in Barcelona in order to do that flight. That should be about an hour long as well. So do stick around and enjoy it if you can. Greatly appreciate it. I see 2 viewers, nobody's saying boo, so let's go ahead and get started. And right off the bat it says no data. Hello, Joseph. Finally somebody says hello. I messaged you last night on Discord there, Mr. Addies. Just checking on you. We did not see you in mixed stream at all last night. So just wanted to make sure you were okay. Alright, hold on a second. This is still saying it's showing green. Alright, there it goes. Alright. This looks rather... let's change that. Not an Arctic chill. I don't know why it goes right to Arctic chill. There we go. That's a little bit better. We don't need all that nasty looking weather. Alright, let's get the plane started up. Oh, okay. Alright, that's fine. Okay. All right, let's check our flight plan. Make sure we don't have any surprises before we depart. No, it looks like I didn't see anything crazy. All right. Need to get to here. There are 10 flaps in. Hello, Mela. Goodness gracious. I guess we're going to have a nice tour of this airport this morning. I'm glad the co-pilots took notes, because that was a heck of a way to get there. I'm gonna have to start muting channels on Discord, because it's like I don't know if people are messaging me or if it's somebody's trying to get my attention, or and then it's like it's nothing of I never know, and it's anyway. All right, we're on our way. So it looks like we should have a fairly straightforward flight to Barcelona. What are you doing, fire truck? Get out of the way. We're trying to get to Barcelona. We're trying to get to the beaches. Goodness gracious. Where's the fire at? Yeah, Mick was playing footy last night, and usually you're in the stream when he's playing footy. We didn't see you there, so. Hello, Patrice. You're just in time. We are taxiing for your takeoff for your flight today. Apparently, at this airport, just like many in the sim, we have vehicles just sitting around on the taxiway. I don't quite understand it. We got one there. We got another one over there. Who knows how many more we're going to run into. You don't have to, you're not late, Patrice, and Addies, you don't have to apologize. I messaged you because we didn't see you there and just wanted to make sure you were okay. If you went and did your own thing, I don't think Mick would be upset about that. Okay? You don't have to apologize for anything, man. Just people noticed that you weren't there. So, matter of fact, NG was like, this chat doesn't seem the same without Mr. Addies. So, you were missed, that's all. Just want to make sure you were okay. So you don't have to apologize if you went and did other things and you didn't have your phone with you. It's not the end of the world. I sometimes prefer to leave my phone at home if I can. Alright, so this should be a fairly quick flight, about an hour, maybe less. We're only going to go to about 28,000 feet. Alright. Honestly, I'm going to start charging for therapy sessions. Mr. Addies, it's fine. You're okay. It's the important part. We just didn't know if you were okay, because normally, like I said, when Nick is playing footy, you're in the chat. So I can't speak for everybody else, but I just wanted to make sure you were okay. I know you're going through a lot, and that's fine. Just wanted to make sure you were okay. And I had to prepare. Oh, that's fine. I know it's like noontime there in France. It's perfectly fine, Patrice. You don't have to explain either. You're here. That's fine. You don't have to give me a reason why you're a few minutes. You know, we got a taxi all the way down here to the end of the runway before we even take off, so we're fine. No, we still gotta go. The runway is apparently over there that we're taking off from. So we're getting a nice tour of the airport, I guess, this morning. I need to find the setting on my iPhone that stops these nonsensical article crap that I get on my phone just because I watched a video on YouTube and all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's send you articles about... No, I don't want that. I just happen to watch a short video. I don't need your article crap. The weather... oh, good. Because when I loaded in before, it was like overcast and I was like, yeah, that just looks kind of blah. We're heading to Barcelona. Let's at least have a bit of sun. So... anyways, so yeah, we'll do these 2 flights and we'll wrap it up for the day. Once we are done in Barcelona, we'll hop over into the Bonanza G36 and we'll head over to Australia for the memorial flight. And I found a route over... you have XR. I have XR. XR. What is XR? I'm not sure what that is, Amela. XR. I think Amela's off from work today, since it's today's Good Friday. Sunday is Easter. Hello, Nadan. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Nadan or Nadan? I'm not sure which. Welcome. I have Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's what MSFS stands for. All right. I thought that there was a known, when you put MSFS, that means Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't think that's changed. All week and next week was nice. Oh, I have the 10. I have the iPhone 10s, I believe. It was 10s or it's an iPhone 10. I think it's an XR. Have the Premium Deluxe Edition. If you're asking for advice of which one to get, the only thing I'm going to tell you is to get the one that your budget will allow for. Don't overspend. If you're on the PC, you have many more options when it comes to aircraft than we do have on the Xbox. We are waiting still for more stuff to come to the sim marketplace. So if that is something you were going to ask, I'm going to answer that ahead of time. Buy the edition that you feel that you can afford. Look at all your options. Yes, on the Xbox Series S. That is correct. That's why I put all that information in the title and elsewhere. All right, let's go. Does that seem to be a very popular question? I'm on the Xbox Series S. If you have Game Pass and you're on the Xbox, you can get the Standard Edition for free, I believe, still. I don't know that it's changed or been taken off the market or the Game Pass. All right, away we go. All right. So there's our airport, and away we go. Ooh, that's kind of a neat picture right there, I think, as we're climbing out of Toulouse. There we go. That's a good picture right there. That might be our picture of the flight. I like it. Nice sunny colors of Air Portugal on our way to Barcelona. Now, they did update the European pack for the for 4 simmers. I think that we did finally get. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, thank you, Patrice. I did not know that. So they did add Air France in. They also added Iberia Airlines. So, all right, we should be. Because you want, and people told me you cannot have the yes, you can. They are not telling you the truth. If you can afford it, go for it. Do your research. Don't listen to what other people are saying. You can have whatever edition you want on there, and for, like I said, I believe the standard edition is still free if you have Xbox Game Pass. I used to have an Xbox back in the days, and now you are more of a PS4 and PS5 person. Well, nothing wrong with that. People have their preferences, and that's okay. If I could have both, I would. The PS5 and the Xbox, but that's not very practical for me right now, and I don't know. Other than if I had Farm Sim 2022 to join Mick whenever they finally do that, that would be the only reason. I don't have. I was thinking about GT7 if I ever got a PS5. I do not think I will do that now, based on the way that watching how it has been for Mick and Pulse and Chris and other folks. Yeah, no thanks. I will pass on that. I don't need that sort of headache. 8 people watching and 1 like. Thank you. I appreciate the 1 thumbs up. I think I know who did that. Amela, as always. First one to break the thumbs up ice in the stream. I appreciate everybody coming in and watching. Today's first flight, First Officer Patrice and I are heading to Barcelona. Patrice requested this flight, and I'm happy to do it. So we are on our way to Barcelona. Should be a fairly quick flight. We may get up to about 28,000 feet. But before we know it, I was so stressed because I don't want to have the standard edition. Hello, Kings of Football Shorts. Airbus factory are just close to the airport. It's easier for takeoff when they finish building them. Yeah, there you go. Well, you don't have to be stressed. If you don't want, I mean, the standard edition, quite honestly, there's a lot there in the standard edition, but, you know, whatever you want to do, that's on you. So, all right. So at least we don't have to worry about changing our altimeter readings on the flight. So, see, okay, yes. Well, thank you, Nadan, for the sub. Appreciate it. For those of you who are new, Test Driver 2. Yes, I remember Test Driver 2 addies. Anyway, for those of you who are new, before you ask, please scroll down below the video in the description area. They're going to talk. I'm talking about the part where it talks about the viewer requested flights. Okay, I'm not looking for requests right now. Just want to make sure everybody understands that, because if you put it in, the answer is going to be no. I will have some spots. I do have spots open for next month, but I'm not asking to fill those right now. At the end of May, there will only be one time a month will be a viewer requested flight, and it will be one flight. And I just, all right. I'm just talking about that right now to Dan. Please do not ask for flights. I'm not taking requests right now. Matt, I'll tell you what. Hold on just a second. Let me get to 28,000 feet. I'm going to do you a solid. Okay, Nadan. This is your one freebie. And after this is why at the end of May, there will be one time a month. It'll be the middle Friday of the month will be a viewer requested flight. One flight only. Okay. Nope. Nope. Hold on. I'm going to do you a solid. Don't worry about it. You said Algiers to Paris. Okay. I don't know what the airport there is in Alger. Okay, so that's Algeria. I'm going to give you a solid. I'm going to put you in for the let's see, that would be the 15th, no, the 13th of May. Yep. All right. So there you are. You get that slot, and that's it. DAAG. And that is to Charles de Gaulle Airport. If it's going to be too long, I'm going to just go ahead and deny that. If it's going to be Algeria to Paris, might be a bit much. But I'm going to look. If not, I'm going to do something to Paris, but it may not be Algeria. The reason why I'm saying this now is people come in and always prefer their part of the world. And that's fine. I understand that. But, you know, I think people would be You know, if I flew all the time in the United States, people would get bored of that. LFPG. LFPG. EAAG LFPG. Two and a half hours. Let's see if I put in the A320. See, the problem is, and I'm not trying to be mean here. People come in and they subscribe and then they immediately ask for something. And that's why in the future I need people to be more proactive, not just a new subscriber. I want you to be a proactive member of the stream. You know, come in, say hello. To me it feels rather rude that people come in and ask for these things and they don't even have spent any time developing a relationship with me as a streamer. To LF. All right, so you have it on the 13th of May. That is our only flight for the 13th of May. I will put all the particulars in later. So there you go. You got it. You don't have to apologize. It's an ongoing problem that I've had in my stream, and I've been very I think I've more than compromised on these things, and it just goes over people's heads, and I can't have it anymore. I'll do your flight, okay? I will. I will. It's in for the 13th of May. That's the earliest I can do it. Okay. So the 20th of May, there's still a spot open, but I am not, I repeat, I am not taking requests at this time. Okay? All right, we are getting near that should be, nope, that's not it. All right. So Bisba is our arrival point. Hello, Eros. Alright, we should start descending soon. Let's see, let's have our look at our point past. Okay, so BGR we have to be at 15,000 feet, so I am going to ask for that now. Wait a minute, let me see what our distance is from waypoint to waypoint. 7,986. We have a bit of distance there. All right, that's a little too early to get down to 15,000 feet. Yeah, we'll get a little bit closer to Bisba, and then we'll start descending. Hello, back plays. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. That's awesome, back plays. Congratulations. I'm glad to hear that. You had understood the reason why your flight could not be programmed because several new... Yeah, I think I explained it enough, Patrice. And I do appreciate what you're trying to say. I will do it because I did have that spot open, but this is the issue that I have. And I talked about this briefly yesterday. I'm not trying to turn this into a negative sort of thing. The problem is that there's this information and people are bypassing the information. Okay. From Oregon, almost in Boston for refueling, and then to Ukraine, I go over the ocean. Nice. Sounds fantastic. The issue is that people are not looking at the description. They don't read. It's because people want that interaction with me, and I see it in other streams with other streamers. People are looking for that interaction. They know that the information's there, or they can't be bothered to look at the information. If they don't know, they don't, even if I say, can you read this? A lot of people don't read it for whatever reasons. Okay. I'm going to do the flight, but this is why I'm dialing back the viewer requested flights. As I put in the description, it's an investment of my time. Okay. When I do these flights, I'm investing time to the viewer to do it. Now, the problem is that some people, I do the flight and then I never see them again. They don't come in the chat ever again, or they don't even come in when I'm doing the flight. And then I've had people who come in a week or two later like, when's my flight? I already did it like 2 weeks ago. So there's more flying that I want to do. And I think I have gone above and beyond for the viewers, whether they're new or been around for a while. I have to put a stop to it, because I'm making an investment and I don't see a return. Okay. That's the issue. I wish that was not the case, but it is, unfortunately. So I'm happy to do the flight for him from Algeria to Paris. It's fine. It's already in. But this is the problem, that people come in and make these demands, and I can't. It's becoming too much. I want people to invest in my stream, be here on a regular basis as much as they can. I get it. Life happens. They can't be here all the time, but be a regular presence in the chat, in the stream. Because some people don't even say hello. They just come in and make a demand. To me, that's just rude. And I think I've tried to be reasonable. So that's why it's going away. It's going to be once a month, in the middle of June, from going forward. It's going to be one flight. So, but it's going to only be about 3 hours in length. Going 4 or 5, especially, and part of that is because I'm already going to be flying long hours on the trip starting on the 18th, going to the former Dutch Indies from Amsterdam to there. There's legs that are going to be about 4 hours long. And I know you're here. I'm talking about I think you're misunderstanding me. You are new to the channel. You're here now. What I'm saying is I prefer people to develop the relationship, be here on a regular basis. Get to know me so I get to know you. I see that you're active in the chat and active in the channel. I don't, that's a whole nother question. The issue is a pattern has developed where people come in, whether they're a very new subscriber or they don't even come in and subscribe, they ask for something from me. I think it's fair for me to say, well, if you want me to do this, let's have a transaction of sorts. Okay, I'm investing in the time to do the flight for you. I would hope that you invest in return into my channel and be here on a regular basis and enjoy all the flying that we're going to do. Not just from where you live to some place that you want to see or whatever, but just in general. Enjoy all, because I can fly an A320 all the time, but then that gets boring. I know you are, Nadan. I'm trying to explain what's been happening. Okay. I'm not mad at you. It's just that there's just been this pattern that either people are a very new subscriber and then ask of this of me, or they don't even say hello or subscribe. They just come in and make a demand, and then they can't be bothered otherwise. Okay? I'm investing my time in doing these things for the viewer. I would hope that people invest their time in return and spend time in my chat and in my stream. Okay. I do not have any Middle Eastern liveries right now. There's a pack that came out. I cannot afford it right now. I have bills to pay. I mean, it's only like $5 or $6, but there are Middle Eastern airlines. But I'm limited in what I have. So anyway, so just I have to put a stop to things because I feel like I'm not being respected. Okay, that's the problem. So I did this because it was hopefully a way to get more people to come in and hang out, enjoy the channel, enjoy the streams. But what I'm seeing is that I make that investment and I don't get a return on it. That's the problem. So if I'm making the investment and people can't be bothered to come back and enjoy more of the flying that I do, then I have to dial that. I have to make some changes because I'm not flying the places or doing the things that I really want to do to make everybody else happy. And then nobody, so that's the issue that I have. There you go. If the Dan understands that, then thank you, Patrice. All right, 36 nautical miles to our waypoint. We'll get a little bit closer and we'll start descending. So we should line up, no issue. Now, the runway that we're coming in on does not seem like it is the traditional runway into Barcelona. Like, I don't feel like it's the one that most airlines would land at, but it's the one that has an ILS approach. Now, I don't know if it's because when they did the world update that the ILSs are all goofed up. Maybe that's the case, I don't know. But we're going to try to land on runway 2. If we have to land it manually, we will. Yeah, it's been an ongoing issue, unfortunately. And no matter how quickly I try to get ahead of it, it doesn't really work out that way, unfortunately. Because as I'm explaining things, people are already posing the question. Hello, Zaman. I'm not going to even try to pronounce all three of your names. I'm just going to call you Zaman, if that's okay. Welcome to the stream. I think I already armed the spoilers. Yep. All right, where are we at now? All right, let's go ahead and ask for 15,000. Oh, 21. That's fine. That's okay, we can do it and break it up. So we'll get down to 21,000 and then we'll go to 15,000. This is not how I wanted Friday's flight to start. Alright, at least we're talking to Barcelona Center now. Oops, I accidentally unplugged my microphone for a second there. Alright, we're starting our descent into Barcelona. We'll drop some more altitude here on our way to our next waypoint, which is we need to be at 15,000 feet by the time we get to BGR. So we'll be dropping some more altitude here. Now, last night the Embraer did get an update, the Embraer 170, 175 series. I don't know, I tried to look to see what the update meant for the aircraft. I will test that at some point this weekend. just to get a feel to see if it's working better than it was before. Hopefully it is. Knock on fake wood. So we can return that to regional jet service. I think we're, yep, we're close enough. I can ask for 15,000. Thank you, Patrice, for recommending a flight for today. Greatly appreciate it. Work is still underway on Sim Update 9. They just fixed a lot of things and they put it out to the beta testers again to see if the fixes are better or worse or the same. So hopefully that will be coming. I think they're targeting the end of the month. Now with that Sim Update 9, that means also the F-15 will get some updates. The F-14 I think will get the livery updates, some stuff that we've been waiting on, but the main thing that is going to be fixed on the F-15 is the throttle issue. So that will, once all that happens, then the F-15 will reappear on flight or military aviation Thursdays. So we will, looking forward to that because it is a phenomenal plane. Matter of fact, next week is when military aviation Thursday will debut. We will be in the MB339 in Italy. We have taken off and landing at 2 different air bases there in Italy. So hopefully it'll be a nice flight for that. And then on the 22nd, we have, I believe, our last viewer request flight for the month of April, which is we're doing 2 flights, Barcelona to London Gatwick, and then we're doing Homer to Girdwood in Alaska for Mick. So, got lots of things coming up. Hopefully it'll all be good flights. I think it will be. Alright, what's our next waypoint? That's at 54 nautical miles away. We have to be at... Oops. Oh, no. Yeah, 54 nautical miles away. we've already been traveling there, and we have to be at 10,000 feet. So we'll get a little bit closer, and we'll drop. We'll get down to 10,000. I always try to do the best landing that I can. I prefer to use the ILS approaches on the jetliners, although sometimes the system does not activate appropriately. So I may have to fly it in manually. If so, we are prepared to do that. I've landed the A320 manually before. It's not a big deal. All right, I am going to step away for just a moment, folks, since we are on our way to our next waypoint. We've got a little bit of time before we start our next reduction in altitude. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Just a minute here, I need to make a note. All right. There we go. All right. Let's see where we're at now. That should be sufficient. Well, we're at 207 knots, so that's not a problem. I've forgotten my swimsuit. Yeah. You could buy one, I'm sure. Or I'm sure there's a nude beach somewhere in Barcelona. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm sure the hotel has a shop there that you could buy one for relatively cheap. Heck, I imagine some people just wear their underwear. Can't be even bothered to have a swimsuit. I have fun. I wasn't in Barcelona, but I was up the coast in Lloret de Mar many years ago. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you want to see some pictures, if you click on the link to my Flickr page, there are pictures from Barcelona that I took. Kind of grainy black and white pictures. Really enjoyed my time there. Or not Barcelona, in Lloret de Mar. I'd really like to get back there one day to see how it is now compared to when I was there. Had a great time. Met a British expatriate who lived there and had his own bar, Collins Cottage. Friends and I spent quite a bit of time there, drinking plenty of sangria. And we had the good fortune. Now, there was 4 of us, but we did meet 3 lovely ladies from Scotland who were also vacationing there. Crusty salute to ATC. They do a terrible job and they don't get paid for it. At least not in the sim, they don't. At some point, we will stop taking direction from, and I kind of think after here we'll be told, we'll be given our altitudes. Now it's interesting, it drops us down to 6,500, then it goes 75 or 7,000, then 8,500. So we'll stay at 10,000 feet for as long as possible, I think. We're in a good place. We kind of have this weird approach into Barcelona. Let's see if I can. All right, oops. Zoom back out. Just one more. So basically, we're going to turn here, and then we're going to head out over the water again, and then turn back in towards the airport. That's the best approach that I could get for $5. €5, whatever. So our airport should be, let's see if we can kind of pick it out there along the coast. It may be a little bit up ahead there. Yeah, I think it is. If I zoom back out a little bit, let's have a look. All right, so yeah, we're not right. We're getting closer. Our destination is right there. Right there. So should be able to kind of pick out the airports as we get a little bit closer. Yeah, I like this livery is actually, I really like it. I mean, it's kind of colorful, but it's not like too much. So Yeah, figured this would be a nice, something different. That might be, is that the circuit there? That is, there is the F1 circuit. Circuit de Catalunya. Dun, 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 look at that. You get to fly over an F1 circuit. Home of the Spanish Grand Prix. And I guess that would be considered Fernando Alonso's home track. I think he's from the region. But there it is. Very cool that we got to fly over that. We'd done a flying tour of Barcelona before the World Update. And we did kind of make our way over the Circuit de Catalunya. Interesting that if you know layouts of some of the more well-known motorsports areas of the world, you know exactly where you are. We did, early on when I first started flying, we did do a flight to the town of Le Mans. I think we did fly, actually we landed by the circuit. What is it called? I can't remember the name, the proper name for it. We did. That's something. What I was trying to do basically was part of a theme was we would go fly over different motorsports tracks as part of like a scenic sort of thing. We did take off or land at by the Paul Ricard circuit. I think we took off from there. Yeah. We were in like a business sort of situation where we were taking drivers from circuit to circuit while they were doing their testing prior to the next race or something like that. I think we found Monza as well in Italy. So yeah, I think we're good right where we are. Once we let me zoom back in. So once we make that turn and we go out over the water, we'll start slowing down because we will be dropping some altitude as we prepare to land. And then, so we'll be doing a couple things at the same time. And as always, as we get ready to line up, I will turn the laptop to the side so I don't get distracted by the chat. It always seems to happen that as I'm coming in for an approach, everybody wants to come in and start asking a bunch of questions. So, and then I look away, and then it's like I'm not doing, I need to be focused on the landing. So, and we'll take a quick 5-minute break. And we're not stopping the stream. We're just going to swap planes, and then we will head over to Australia. I'll have to kind of change the time so it's a nice daytime flight for Crazyvideos memorial flight that he requested for his mother passing away earlier this week. So we're going to take off from Shellharbour. We're going to go up over Wollongong. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. We're going to head towards an airport, and then we're going to track to the right and land in Newcastle, Australia. We're not flying all the way to Newcastle, United Kingdom in the G36. That would take forever. So, yep. It should be about an hour-long flight. We're not going to go very high. Maybe about 4,000 feet. So, should be a nice little flight for that. If you're going to be in the chat for that, please be respectful of his loss or their loss. If you're going to be disrespectful, you're just going to get booted. I'm not even going to try to reason with you. All right, let's see. We still have 14 nautical miles to go. I think real quick, as we're making our way towards this waypoint, I'm going to step away for one more quick moment. I'll be right back. I need to refill the water. All right, I'm back. Alrighty. Let's see here. Go ahead and put down the first bit of flaps. Looks like another circuit there. Looks like a circuit of some kind. I could be wrong. Maybe it's a... Oh, it looks like a... Huh. Looks like there's an oval. Almost looks like a testing sort of place for like an automotive thing. I wonder if that's where Seat, which is a Spanish automotive company, I wonder if that's like their test track right there. It's got like a layout like a test track. Huh. Interesting. Sounds like a plan. Oops. Seems like we kind of cut the corner there. Thank you again, Patrice, for recommending today's flight. Greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. All right. We're going to head out over the water still a little bit more, and then we'll get ready to turn back inland here in a moment. That is essentially what we have left in the flight to do. Glad to hear it. This will be our first landing in Barcelona since the world update. We will be in Gibraltar. No, we will be in Athens, I think. This Sunday, yes, for our scenic Sunday flight after we do our trip on the Bakerloo line, Train Sim World 2 on Sunday. But we will be in Gibraltar. We'll do a flying tour of that here in the near future. A week from this Sunday, I think we'll be in Gibraltar. Yes, on the 24th, we will be in Gibraltar. So all the points of interest have been updated with the world update for the Iberian area, the Iberian coastline. Good morning, Fish Guns. Hello, Pratya. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. Nice to see you too, Fish Guns. Hopefully you're doing well. Nice to see you here. We are landing in Barcelona here in a moment, and then we are doing one more flight. A viewer came in and asked if I could do a memorial flight for his mother who passed away living in the Wollongong area in Australia. So we will be doing that flight once we conclude this one. And then we will be wrapping things up for this Friday. Chugging through April. Tomorrow we will be in the P-38 Lightning going from Bob Hope Burbank Airport to San Luis Obispo County Regional. This will start our flights of we're going to take off and land at former Army Air Corps airfields, whether they were used for training or moving aircraft, like a transportation kind of thing, that they were moving aircraft from one area to another sort of stuff. Does the Embraer fly? There was an update that came out last night. I don't know what the update does, if it fixes things and makes things better. Now, it does. The weird thing about the Embraer, like when I looked at the flight that we did to, I think it was like Salt Lake to LAX or something like that. We had issues taking off, right? Getting it to climb and all that kind of stuff. And then finally, everything kind of worked, and it's very strange. It seems like sometimes things work as that they should, and other times they don't. It's one of those weird sort of glitches that we encounter in the sim, and there's no way of knowing what causes it. So I'm going to test it because they did put out the update, but I don't know they didn't put out what notes, or anything about the update to say this is what it fixes. So I don't know what to expect, but I am going to spend some time with it this weekend because I would like to use it for regional jet service. It's a cool plane, I think, but it's hit and miss when things work. But I don't know that it's necessarily the developer's fault. I think it's just that sometimes something happens in the sim. When I went back and watched the video I did, and I took off, and I was like, okay, I remember that I couldn't get the aircraft to climb. It was very difficult. But I was like, man, I feel like it was one of those things where, and I commented, like, I tested this last night. Everything worked like it was supposed to. Now things are not working. I don't know why. So yeah, it's a very strange sort of situation, I think. Come on, plane, you need to turn. There we go. There's a good plane. Otherwise, we're going to get way off track, and then it's going to be a... but I will message you on Discord, Fish Guns. I'll tag you in 83's Discord. If it feels like it's better than it was before, I'll let you know. But it just seems like it's one of those hit and miss sort of things. Like it works and then it doesn't, and you know, just like people ask me about the autopilot for the A320, and it's like, well, I know it works for me, but for some people they can't get it to work for some reason. I don't know. Welcome back, Nadan. Yeah, it's a very strange thing, but I hope it works because I'd really like to be able to fly it. Because I think it's a phenomenal little regional jet, and I don't know when we're going to get the CRJs, if we're waiting on the WASM issue to be fixed, or what, you know. Because I would like to get the CRJs. I've been waiting on those, seems like forever. But it may be because of the WASM issue that they're not able to put it out there just yet. But I'm looking forward to when we get those CRJs from Bombardier, because those are really great regional jets as well. So I like to be able to do regional stuff because, you know, they're very quick flights. And I think those would be fun to put in for like Jetliner Tuesday every once in a while. So, you know, because it's just a quick little hop, because they, you know, they fly back and forth, you know, for oh yeah, they also make trains. Yes, Amilla, that is true, but their regional jets are really nice. I think I've flown on both the Embraers and the Bombardier regional jets, and the Bombardiers are generally, I think, a bit, it just, I don't know, there's something I like more about them than the so what I discovered, Fish Guns, I didn't even turn the flight director on. Oops-a-daisy. So you have to hit this ILS button. I used to just hit the approach mode, but when you hit the ILS button, it will bring up the ILS system here on this display. And I'll show you that here in a moment as we get a little bit closer.
2,500.
Put the gear down. We should see our... Well, maybe we got to get a little bit closer for our, what do you call it, our glide path to show up. In the event of a water landing, I don't know what to tell you. It's everybody for themselves. Enjoy your swim to the shore of Barcelona. You have a flotation device. We'll see you on the shore. But yeah, I think I've flown both the Bombardier regional jets and the Embraer regional jets, and the Bombardiers just seem to be a bit better for like like the passenger experience. I think is much better than the Embraers. I don't know why. But I'm happy to fly both. You know, I think the Bombardier regional jets would be a great addition to the sim on the Xbox side. I don't know how many people are using them on the PC side and what their experience has been, if they're flying them at all. I kind of feel like there was this push about jetliner stuff, and then all of a sudden everybody discovered general aviation, and they're like, oh, this is a much more fun way to fly. I'd prefer this over the jetliner. So now all of a sudden it's like the jetliner thing has kind of died out. It's like it comes and goes in waves, and you just never know when all of a sudden everybody's gonna be like, jetliners right now, get them done, you know. Would I like to get the 380, the Airbus, the Airbus version of the 747? Yeah. Would I probably fly it a lot? No. It's too much. A flight in something like that just takes a lot of time, and it may be once a year sort of thing for me. You know, where it's like, okay, I'll do this 8-hour flight or something like that, and you know, but it's just it's so much time. You know, and in order to fly it properly, you have to do it use it that way. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit the ILS button. Now, you'll see, here's our stuff along the bottom. You have your diamond here on the right, and then eventually we'll have a diamond at the top. So once this diamond here lines up in the middle, I'll hit the localizer, and then once the diamond goes in the middle, I'll hit the approach mode. And then everything should lock in. Prepare for the crusty salute to the tower. There we go. Ooh. There's our path. All right, there's our final bit of speed drop down. All right. The system is not lining up. Maybe we need to be a bit closer. May just have to hit the approach mode. Well, we're within the... Go ahead. Oh, let's see. Does that diamond even? The diamond is not moving. Let's turn off that. Try it again. See if it's moved. It is not moving. All right. All right. Let's just go ahead and hit approach mode. It seems to be locked in. So there is no localizer for us to lock in on, apparently. Just have the this, so we are guiding in on the ILS now. But yeah, generally what we have is this diamond will go to the middle, and then there'll be another diamond up at the top here, usually that will go to the middle, and then we hit all of our buttons at the right time. But we are on our way. The Death Star tractor beam has been engaged, I do believe. Not yet. We need to be, I think once we pass this point, then we should nose over and glide into, let's see, this should go green completely once we're locked in. It is not. Come on, plane, lock in. All right, there we go. Now it's locked in. We are starting. We did nose over finally. All right. Yep, we know. We've been told like 3 or 4 times already that we can land. I think once I do get a PC in the future and we start simming on the PC, I may do the video camera just so that everybody can see the crusty salute. I may even do. I literally one time when I was working the gates at Fort Huachuca when we were down there after 9/11. I literally had somebody salute me by touching the tip of their nose, not their eyebrow like they're supposed to, or the brim of their hat. They touched their nose, saluting me. I was like, wow. It was an officer too. I gave them the greeting of the day. They literally saluted by touch. I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. Thank you, sir. When do I get what, Amela? The Embraer or the Bombardier jets? I think, if that's what you're asking, I think it'll be after they fix the WASM issue for the Xbox. That's my guess. But maybe it'll be sooner. There's just no telling in there. They don't give us any indication. Oh, the PC. Oh, it'll probably be at least another year or so, I'm guessing. It'd be nice if it was sooner, but I just don't see that happening. Not unless I come into a significant amount of money. All right, here we go. Oh, pardon me. Yeah.
200.
Hold on just a second here. Let me...
100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard, 5.
There we are. On behalf of myself and First Officer Patrice, we'd like to welcome you to Barcelona, the Iberian coast. Local time, I believe, is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm guessing. We know and appreciate the fact that you have many options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures. And we are glad that you joined us on this flight to Barcelona today. Do stick around. We have one more flight to complete. All right, let's talk to our parking instructions. To the gates, please. Oh, thank you, everybody. All right, I guess we're taking a tour of Barcelona as well. That's all right. We will get there and pull up to the gates, and we'll conclude this flight. Well, the great thing is should the time come, or when the when the time comes for me to get a PC, all like the Embraer or the Bombardiers and all that stuff is already there in the for sale. So it's not like I'm waiting on any of that sort of stuff. So I can pick those up because I'm guessing for the Xbox side we'll get them maybe later, late summer, early fall, once the WASM issue has been dealt with. Now they're targeting that they think they'll have it at least a sensible fix by the end of July. but it's hard to tell if that's really, I don't know if that's overly ambitious or if that's something that they could really do. It's hard to tell. So, but yeah, I'm not expecting them on the Xbox anytime soon, unfortunately. It'd be nice. They may surprise me and we get them here before the end of the month. There's just no telling. I don't know that they're overly complex aircraft, which is what the WASM issue is supposed to deal with. Or once they fix the WASM issue, they can have more complex aircraft in the sim on the Xbox side. It's kind of a weird way to tell us to go. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Patrice. As those prices go down, will be easier for people to get back into the PC marketplace and build a gaming PC with really fantastic graphic cards. And I think also by waiting for all that stuff to get, to be updated, by the time I'm ready to buy a PC, there'll be even better graphics cards. So, because if I buy, let's say I have the money to buy one now, within a year, maybe 2 years, that PC is already, it wanted you to swerve. Yeah, it sure did. Then they could try to take my pilot's license. Oh, he was flying drunk. So, yeah, I think, because I remember when I had a PC many years ago, the rate of new chips from Intel, it wasn't even a year, it would be 6 months. You'd buy a PC, 6 months later, your PC is already out of date. It is already, they were just putting out chips, constantly, and it was always getting faster. So yeah, literally, I remember, like, I bought mine, and then like 6 months later, they were already had doubled the processor speed, or improved upon it. I don't know if it was a double, but they were already making those advances. And I think now, graphics cards are somewhat similar, although they seem to take a little bit longer to develop. But they do seem to come very quick, a lot quicker than they used to. They're finding ways to cram more memory and get more out of the card, while reducing, the heat of the PC and all kinds of stuff. So, but yeah, and I'm okay with waiting a little bit, because then I will hopefully have an even better graphics card by the time I'm ready to purchase my PC. But I've already put together my list, so to speak, of all the stuff that I want when I do go the PC route. I want the peripherals. I want a decent sized monitor. What else? I will. I'll get a one of those Streamcast sort of little devices, so that I can, get the do all my video stuff and all that. Oop, I need to go forward just a smidge more, it looks like. I don't think I dare go any further than that. Okay, Well, here we are. Let's go ahead and shut it down. An hour and 20 minutes. Let me make a quick note of that, please. And we will change 20. All right, perfect. Yeah, not a bad flight. So, all right, let's go here. Yeah, not too shabby. Oops, still catching up over on Twitch. There we go. There's our aircraft. Oops, let's take that off. We can just put that there. Do I have... I don't know that I have any liveries worthwhile. I would just leave it standard. That's fine. All right. We are going from YSHL. YSHL. I apologize for the loud engine noise in the background. The usual typical jackasses that live around here with their screwed up exhausts and all that. YWLM. YWLM. Coming in here to land. Arrive. And we were going to fly over. Was it? It should be this one. Yep, there it is. Bankstown. We're going to fly over that because this will take us over the area right there, Wollongong, where Crazyvideos' mother lived. So, all right. Give me just a second, folks. Oh, let me update the time. So we have a nice sunny flight. There we go. All right. Give me just a second, folks. I'm going to take just one quick break. Yes, I think that it is a very valid point there, Patrice. It does force them to make some changes, I guess. All right, let's get in here and get this flight done. Let's change our conditions to where's this a nice sort of I just want some Is this like the clear? There we go, clear skies. Perfect. Oh, and then the time reset. Let me change that again. We have enough sunlight. All right, let's do this. All right. So this is for Crazyvideos for his mom passing away on Sunday, apparently, if I remember correctly. So, let's go in here and get this all going. Oops. Don't need that right now. Don't need this other stuff. Should be a fairly straightforward startup. Put the prop all the way forward. Put the mixture all the way forward. Make sure, oh, there's our fuel. We just leave it on left. Perfect. All right, let's get our batteries on. And there we are. We are started up. Put our lights on. Don't need that. Put that on, I guess, if we need to. All right, let's go ahead and ask for clearance to skedaddle out of here. Let's see, we are supposed to be going north, I believe. It should be that runway down there. Oh, I thought I had the brakes off already. Apparently I put them on. Yep, there's our runway down there. Now there is a aviation museum here. You see a Qantas 747 there. It looks like a C-130 is there as well. Some other planes. So yeah, they got a little museum here. I don't know that the 747 could actually take off from this airport. I don't think the runway is long enough. Even if they stood on the brakes. I doubt that they would clear the tree line there at the end. But yeah, we've landed this airport before. I remember because I taxied over here and I was like, oh, look at that, C-130. Or no, it's not a C-130, but it is a military plane. I think it's like a submarine, like a sub hunter. Yeah. It was the model before the P-3 Orion came out, I think. But this was a carrier-based sub hunter, I think. Yeah. All right, heading over here. Oh, looks like we have something else to see down here. Check this out. See, that's the great thing about taxiing. Sometimes you get to see parts of an airport that you don't otherwise get to see. That looks like a PBY Catalina. Could be wrong, but it is a flying boat of some kind. Yeah, it looks like a Catalina. Very famous in World War II for search and rescue, downed pilots over the Pacific. They would be able to land and pick up the downed air crew. Yep, that's exactly what it is, a Catalina. If I remember my aviation correctly. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Do a couple of things before we get ready to skedaddle out of here. All right. Our altimeter should only be like 2.9 or 902. I don't anticipate any changes for that. I'd be surprised if it does change. All right, I'm going to dial in our first heading of 002. And we need to get our vertical speed so that when we take off, we start gaining some altitude. There's that. All right. That is not a north departure, that is a west departure. Alright, well, I guess it was confused about my request. Alright, let's go. And away we go. It's like a... oh, it's a farm. The way it was laid out for a second there, I thought it was a golf course that we were getting ready to fly over. No, you squawk 7264. All right, Crazyvideos and I are on the way over Wollongong. That should be right over here. I tried to make it where we would fly kind of over it, but we are close enough for government work, I suppose. Make sure we clear these mountains, or low hills, I guess. A little crusty salute to Crazyvideos' mom as we pass Wollongong. I'm sorry for your loss. Hopefully you enjoy the flight. I don't think you're in the chat right now, but if you are, sorry for your loss. This thing is a bumpy little plane to fly in. Even I feel like I wouldn't expect that there'd be that much wind to be bumping this plane around, but as we're flying over these low hills or low mountains, and I guess the wind is just kind of kicking up. So our next track, 020, once we get to this our first waypoint there, 31 nautical miles away. I kind of feel like this would be in automotive, this would be like a little sports car sort of a plane. I mean, it flies like a sports car, feels like. Yeah, exactly. That's okay. I was trying to find like a reasonable amount of flying for this flight today for Crazyvideos. I was going to go much farther up the coast, but it was going to be even longer, and so I figured if we fly to this first waypoint, which is an airport, we would basically fly over near where their mom lived, and then we'll make our way towards Newcastle. There's a military airfield. I think there is a small airport there that's civil aviation, but I think it's supposed to be a military airfield predominantly. It almost seems like, based on its location near the coast, it would be kind of like a search and rescue sort of place. So I figured this would be a good flight plan. A little bit scenic here. You know, we got the coast right there and some nice green land. Some nice forestry and waterways here. Looks like there's roads down there maybe, or some kind of a trail or something. It looks like a dirt road. Alright, let's see how much farther we got to go. 23 nautical. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off the heading mode for just a moment. I'm going to dial in our next heading of 020. Alright, perfect. So once we get to our waypoint, I'll engage that, then we'll make our way towards our next destination, which is where we'll land there at Newcastle. So yeah, it's a fun little plane to fly, I think. Like I said, it feels like you're flying a sports car. Living in those, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I just remember the craziest bugs I've ever seen was when I was in Panama for 2 weeks. We were doing, they had built roads between these three villages, and they had put drainage pipes underneath the roadway. And so we basically capped each end of the pipe to help channel the water appropriately. And yeah, and I wasn't a medic at the time, but in the little aid station, they had a whole area or not an area, but this kind of a board, all the different varieties of bugs in the area. And some of it, you look at it, you're like, what in the world is that? Like, you see some of the strangest stuff. We did encounter a couple of wolf spiders, which are like a tarantula, but even, I guess, in a way bigger. Like, they are just, yeah, huge. And, you know, if we'd spot one, we'd back off and we'd go our way, and we'd go, like, hey, we'll come back to this spot later on. We are not going to try to disturb it. Leave it alone. Yeah, it was an interesting trip, for sure. I think that's the place I have seen the strangest. Like, there was a bug that flew that it literally looked like a VW Beetle with wings. like the old one, like the from the 1960s. It flew low, and it had this weird wing sound. It was just like, yeah, really strange stuff. Everybody like, oh, there's a VW's in the tent. Watch out. Wow, that looks like a... I don't know if that's a house or if it's... Boy. Somebody's got it nice that they're living all the way out here. Look at that. They kind of got this whole area to themselves. Now, I don't know how... I'm guessing there must be a road of some kind if they have to go into town, which looks like there's some sort of a town or whatever there if they have to go get supplies, but... Yeah, there was, like, I saw moss. The wingspan of some of these moss was just, moths was just amazing. You know, it's funny because we were always, either you thought of it as a car or like this one moth had a wingspan. It looked like a stealth bomber. Yeah. Like it had this V-shaped wing, like this huge wingspan, and yeah, just some really strange stuff. Alright, we are near our first waypoint, 8.8 nautical miles. So we will be passing that soon, then we'll take we'll head to 020 and make our way towards Newcastle, 80 nautical miles, and then we will wrap this stream up for today. Again, my condolences to Crazyvideos for the loss of their mother. Shoulder harness must be worn while at pilot positions. For takeoff and landing, seat back must not be in full back position. Oh, you can't lay back in the seat while you take off? I want to see if I can see over the instrument panel during takeoff. All right, Nadan, welcome back. Alright, so we should see it. Actually, you know what? I just realized this is probably not zoomed out. Oh, that's zoomed in. We want to zoom out. No, that's in. There we go. There we go. Perfect. This is the NXI version of the Garmin 1000, or the working titles. I'm sorry, not the NXI. This is the working titles G1000 NXI. So look at all this additional information we get if we have the standard G1000. A lot of this information is not there. So Working Titles is doing a phenomenal job with this, you know, G1000, the NXI version, and keeping it up to date. Alright, let's head to 020. Yeah, I mean, there's all the different airways, all the navigation sort of stuff. All right, we are heading towards our next waypoint. Ta-da. Or our destination, I should say. We passed our one and only waypoint, so. And that's, to be honest, this is part of the homework that I do. I know I call it that, but that's the closest term I can make. So, like, when I put this flight together, and then I remembered that Wollongong is the area that Crazyvideos' mom lived in, I was trying to find a way to fly over that. You know, first off, out of respect for the loss of their mother. But I also have to make sure I know which way to head, you know, so I can make sure we go the way we need to be going to get to our waypoint there at that airport, and then also to our destination. So that is where Sky Vectors comes in very handy. You know, I can put together this stuff, and I can put VORs in, or I can put, like, you know, the airport. I can put that in, and it gives me a heading and distance, so that I know basically I can kind of bounce that off of here and say, yep, okay, we are going the right direction. We have the right distance. We know where we're going. So it does make it a little bit easier. So that's those investments that I guess I talk about sometimes, because I do invest time in trying to come up with a interesting, you know, like for the jetliner stuff, you know, I put in the IFR route, and you know, hopefully it's going to be an interesting route, and we'll fly over somewhere interesting. But you know, we're usually pretty high up and out. I mean, look, there's a nice football pitch, it looks like, and smaller training fields all around it. It looks like a football pitch. Anyways. Oh, it's a cute little plane. Let's see, I think it seats 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 4 passengers, a room for a little bit of luggage in the back there. I don't think you can open the door. Oh, speaking of which, so I watched Pilot 83 did a video with the Concorde. Now get this. This is amazing. You can go into you could leave the flight deck and you go into like the galley area, and then there's bathrooms, and you can open one of the doors and the toilet actually flushes, which I think is absolutely amazing, because you know, normally we just fly, we're here on the flight deck and that's it. We don't, you know, pay attention to much else. But yeah, they have a flushing, like you can close the door and they have a little sign on the door inside talking about how much hours and everything that it took for them to create the Concorde. Thousands of hours. You know, modeling things and checking it and going back and fixing code and all that. It's a lot of work that goes into, you know, and it's a fairly complex, like they showed the Pilot 83 showed like the flight engineer panel behind the co-pilot, and it kind of reminds me of the pictures I I remember seeing the flight engineer station like on a 747. Very similar, got all these gauges and knobs and switches and stuff like that. And a lot of it, he hovered over it. He said, a lot of this works. Like, you utilize all this whole station all on its own. You can, if you want to manage like the fuel and all that during the flight, because it's a very complex fuel system as well, in order for it to get to 60,000 feet and go to Mach 2, which is the cruising altitude. And roughly now, they said that during the summer, they wouldn't quite hit Mach 2, so they'd be like at Mach 1.9 or 1.8 something. And what they would do is because in the passenger area, and I think you could see videos of this if they exist on YouTube. They had where are we at? Hold on, let me see how much farther we got. Oh, we still got a bit of time. They would kind of fool because it was marketed as you would get there at twice the speed of sound. And so what they would do is they would tweak it, and it was close enough. They were like within a tolerance, I guess, that they could say technically we're at Mach 2, and they would go ahead and put that into the passenger like, oh my goodness, we're flying at twice the speed of sound. They may be just under Mach 2, but they would tell the passengers that so that they felt that they had the experience of flying at twice the speed of sound. And that was usually in the summer. The winter, they could easily get to Mach 2, and they could go higher than 60,000 feet quite easily. So it's like based on the air density kind of thing. It's very fascinating sort of stuff. But it's hard to believe that plane first flew in 1969. And it's only been retired for 19 years now. It just seems like it was yesterday, that they took the Concorde out of service. But some of them do survive in museums. I think there's one in New York at the. They have one at the. There's a carrier museum there in New York I've been to. I think it's the Intrepid. The Intrepid or something else. But they have a naval carrier, and they have like classic, a bunch of different aircraft on the flight deck. But they do have a Concorde. I didn't get a chance to go see it when I was there. I would like to go back there just for that and spend some time. Hello, old Crankman. So yeah, it's very. I'd like to go see it just so that I could. Hello, Mick. Welcome. Nice to see you here. Fancy seeing you here. How are you? I'm guessing the kids have gotten you running around crazy since they're home for Easter break. I'm telling you, just tell them that there's Easter eggs hidden around the house. Tell them to go find them, even if they're not there. They'll be busy for hours on end looking for Easter eggs that don't exist. But yeah, I would like to go back and see that. I didn't get a chance because it was kind of an impromptu thing that I went to the aircraft museum there in New York City a few years back. We were there for the NAB show, the North American Broadcasting show. My shark has a clog in the hose somewhere. Oh, I don't know what to tell you about that, old Crankman. I guess you're going to have to... Yeah, I have no idea how to help you out with that one. I'm not sure how long the hose is, if you can find a way to push something through there to see if you hit something, or, I don't know. But yeah, I'd like to go back and see the Concorde. It's one of those planes. It's very legendary, and it was only for the very wealthy could afford a ticket on the Concorde. But it is a legendary design. Don't know that there'll ever be another airliner like it. So hopefully it will debut at some point here on the channel, and looking forward to getting it and getting to grips with it and flying it. It will probably take me some time because it is a very complex plane. So I would have to fly it a couple times to kind of understand all the quirks of it and how to deal with all that sort of stuff. So use a sharp lift off, but I never tried using the lift off for the oh. Yeah, I have no idea what I don't know what to tell you about that. I got away from the mayhem now, hiding in my room with "Do not disturb" on the door. You know, sometimes that's like an invitation for to be disturbed. Some people see it that way, unfortunately, Mick. Oh, nice little golf course down here. You know, kids don't always understand that sign. But, yeah. I'd just be like, hey, you know what? There's Easter eggs hidden all over the house. Go find them all and we'll see what you get. Find as many as you can. They'll be looking everywhere for hours. My parents and I was not born, told me that when the Concorde started its first flight to test over, it was making such big sounds it was frightening. Yeah, I could imagine that. Yeah, because it's, you know, you have those engines, they had afterburners on them, and the only planes that had afterburners on them at that time were military planes. You know, not in school today. I decided to sleep. Oh, nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes to sleep in once in a while. Yeah, I could only imagine. You know, I would think that the same thing when I watched a documentary about the creation of the 747. You know, like all the press was there. All these people were lined up everywhere near the airfield when the first 747 took off. Because it was such a big deal, especially for people who lived near the Boeing plant there in Washington State. But it was loud also. And now you have planes that, you know, like the A320 and the 737 Max, or 737 Max, and even, you know, the newer generations of the 747, their engines are much quieter, but they are able to keep up with the power and all that. But I can imagine, man, that must have been an amazing experience to be there, to see, you know, just like I think, right, you know, when I was in Mick's chat the other day, that the first space shuttle flight took place yesterday in 1981. That is just amazing to think that it was that long ago that the first shuttle flight, that it lifted off, went into orbit, and landed, was in 1981. And I remember watching the space shuttle flights on TV and being in awe of this new space exploration sort of vehicle, you know, that we could take off. It was, you know, take off like a rocket and land almost like a plane, you know, and I remember watching the landings, and the landings were absolutely phenomenal. They'd, you know, all the cameras would be keyed in. Where's the shuttle at? There it is, and it's coming in at this kind of weird angle, you know, and then they have to slowly start to slow down and kind of raise the nose up, and then they kind of flare, and then they touch down, and poof, there goes the chute in the back, and they roll to a stop. You know, just amazing stuff. And unfortunately, I don't know that we'll ever get to another Concorde again in our lifetime. Your phone just came back on, Joseph. Fantastic. I'm very happy for you. I don't know why it went off, but okay. yeah, I could only imagine what it was like to hear that first Concorde. I could imagine it was scary, but just, you know, there's something, and I kind of find analogies with motorsports. You know, there's all this hybrid sort of stuff, and it doesn't have the same sort of sound. It doesn't invoke a passion. I remember the first time I heard the racing Corvette, the C5R, 7-liter V8. It's not that you just heard it, but you felt it. I don't know that I would feel, like when I watched the Audi R10 race, I didn't feel it. It was silent. It went right by. There was no engine note at all. Perceptible engine note for a spectator. And the drivers, they had to find a way, because they were used to the sound and knew when to upshift and downshift based on the sound of the engine. They had to put something in to give them that sense of, you know, an audible cue of sorts, I guess. But yeah, there's all those things, and I can imagine that the Concorde was much the same way, that, you know, when those afterburners lit, you knew it wasn't a military jet, but it was something special. You know, I can only imagine the people who lived over New York. Now, they couldn't, I don't know what the rules were as far as the afterburner use for takeoff. I would imagine there was some sort of regulation regarding all that. You know, and they couldn't go to hit the speed of sound until after they were over the Atlantic Ocean. Because, you know, if they flew and did that over populated areas, people would have met, oh, what in the world was that? You know, so yeah, really, really fascinating technology, I think. And like I said, I don't know that we'll ever get back to something like that in the near future. You know, Boeing was working on their own supersonic transport. That project died essentially with the creation of the 747. I mean, the 747 almost bankrupted Boeing, because they weren't sure that it was going to work. I think I'll start losing a bit of altitude as we prepare for our landing here soon. Yeah, really amazing stuff. I would like to, I don't know, like at the museum there in New York City, if you can actually go inside. I think you can, but I don't know. I think they probably have like one of them plexiglass windows that you can kind of walk up and peek into the flight deck. Yeah. But it was only short-lived. I mean, after that was over, they went back at it. Yeah, I remember that oil crisis. Yeah, it was crazy. You know, you could only go every other day or so, or, you know, it was based on license plates, so people were changing their license plates to be able to get more gas. You know, everybody would find ways to circumvent the rules, I guess, that were in place so that everybody had a chance to fill up their tank. And to think, I mean, gas back then wasn't that expensive compared to how it is now. You know, that's the crazy thing. You can visit the Concorde. Oh, nice. Yeah, they do have one here because you know it did fly out of New York, the JFK airport. Um, so yeah, I don't know, but it is there at that. It's in its own little area near. You have to come off the aircraft carrier and walk. There's like a special area for the Concorde. I think it's the Intrepid Museum. So as a veteran, I could go into that museum for free anytime. I just show them my VA ID card, and they're like, "Here's your ticket. Have a nice day." So I don't have to pay for. It's either free or I think it's free, or it was discounted. I think it was free. So it's one of those. I definitely would like to get back there one day, at some point. But if I could go and then just, if I get there like in the afternoon, spend the night in a hotel, and then get up the next morning and go to the museum and spend most of the day there, or maybe 2 days in the city, you know, in a reasonably priced hotel, which I don't know that any exist. Yeah, it would be interesting to go back there to spend a whole day at that museum, trying to capture all the. Again, if you go to my Flickr, you can see the pictures of the aircraft that I took on the flight deck there. And those were all film. I took that with a film camera. Yep, you're right about that. It's true. There is one there at Duxford. I do remember hearing about that. So yeah, they do exist in museums, which is fantastic. They just didn't scrap them. All right. We are, let's see, how close are we? 20 nautical miles. We'll get a little bit closer. Let's see if they're on the list already of aircraft or airports that we can already talk to. There it is, Williamstown Military. All right, let's minimize that. Let's see. That museum was funny because when you see it, it's so thin that you wonder. Yeah. Well, I read that it would expand. It expanded 2 feet during the flight. When they reached Mach 2, the body would expand by 2 feet. It's absolutely amazing to think that the structure of the plane could do that. That it allowed, you know, the way it was designed allowed for that to happen. And to think, I mean, the amount of engineering that took to make that happen is amazing. Like, you know, all the calculations and stuff like that. Let's get down to about 2,200. I think that's a good spot. All right, we are ready to prepare for landing here at our destination. Once again, Crazyvideos, sorry for your loss. Hopefully you catch this video at some point. So once we are on the ground, we will wrap this thing up and be done for the day. We'll be back tomorrow in the P-38 Lightning, Burbank Bob Hope Airport to, oh, there we go. All right. So I think what we may do is we will still fly over our airport there just to get a idea of the runway. But it is, we are on the, you know, like the air, oops daisy. Not mean to do that. The airport is, our runway is over, we'll be coming in the, you know, kind of over it, I think, so. We should be able to identify it. Yeah. Yeah, it's the engineering to do all that must have just been, and I think a lot of that happened because of the space race. There was all this technological advancements because of that, and a lot of people, I think, take that for granted. You know, they think, oh, it's a waste of money, resources, but it does advance technology in a positive way. So I think because you had all these people that went to school and got electrical engineering degrees, mechanical engineering degrees, physics, and studied all those things to make that all possible. And people just kind of, who cares? It's just a bunch of geeks sitting around with their slide rules and stuff, man. You know, it's sad, but that's, people gonna take that stuff for granted. All right, so our airport is just up ahead here. And because I think it ignited that passion and wanting to design these things that are just amazing, and I wish, I'm sure there's got to be a story out there, like the people who designed the Concorde. There must be a book or something that talks about everything that they did, all like kind of like similar to the documentary I watched about the 747. They talked to the lead designer for it and all that. It's a lot of stuff to do. All right, I'm looking for my airport. It says, oh, wait a minute, where are we at in relation? Oh, we still got a little bit more to go. I was like looking for it. I thought it was like right over here. This is like a port area. Kind of industrial sort of stuff. Wow, look at this beach line, coastline right here. All right, our airport should be coming up here in a moment. But when you look back, like going to the moon's supersonic aircraft, then you think about the equipment they had to work with. Yeah, there was no, it was, people literally did have their slide rules and they were doing calculations manually. There was no, supercomputers took up huge rooms. Very first time, most people thought it was dangerous and waste. Yeah, a lot of people did not think that the Wright brothers would ever succeed, and they did. And then it just went from there, and everything just kind of, it took off, for lack of a better term. I feel like we've landed here before, and I kind of lost track of the airports. Should be coming up here. I think it's in this clearing right over here. Let's see if we are right. There's our airport. Alright, so 30 is just off the left wing tip there. Alright, I have my references. There's our runway. Alright, I'm going to let this fly kind of on its own for just a second. I'll be right back, folks. Alright, I'm back. Let's just have a look here. Alright. So let's turn off our heading mode. Our altitude hold and our autopilot. Alright, let's go get ready to land then. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Patrice, exactly. Absolutely amazing technology that they used. Hello, Vengeful Squid. It's going well. We're just concluding our second flight for Viewer Flights Friday. We're landing here in at the airport here in a moment. It's passed over. We're coming back around and put it on the ground. Go ahead and put the landing gear down. Last bit of flaps. Alright folks, I'm going to turn the laptop to the side there. I will catch up with the chat once we are on the ground. There's our airport there. There we go. I'm not even going to try to understand what mumbo jumbo you were putting in there, Enzo. Sorry, but I just don't have the tolerance for that sort of shenanigans anymore in my chat. All right. lost the airport again. I swear this airport just, it appears and then disappears. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it now. It's very hard, like, to you know, like, I have my references and then it's like I lose sight of the references. So there we are, right there. There's our airport. Yeah, if you want to come in and be disruptive like that in my chat, you're just going to get booted right away. I'm not even going to try to reason with you. I just don't have the tolerance for it anymore. And I get people do it because they're miserable. And they see people doing something that they enjoy, and they don't like that. They want to bring that misery to other people. Well, you can take your misery and screw off. How about that? Go bug somebody else. Go bug your parents. How about that? I think I've been more than tolerant with the stupidity going on in streams for the past couple years, and I'm just not going to tolerate it anymore. All right, on behalf of myself and Crazy Videos, we'd like to welcome you to Williamstown. I think it's Williamstown Airport here in Australia. It is actually late at night or early in the morning there. I can't remember which. We understand and appreciate the fact that you have many options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures, and thank you for flying us today on this second flight, memorial flight for Crazy Videos' mother's passing on Sunday. Thank you for being respectful for the loss of their mother. Yeah, I'm getting there. Is it okay if I get to the turn before I turn? Can I get there first? It's like, I know I got to stop at the red light. Can I get to the red light first? Then I'll stop. Or do you want me to stop 5 blocks away? All right. Yeah, that too. Oh, thank you, Patrice. Yeah, it wasn't too bad of a landing. Could have been worse, could have been better. But yeah, not too shabby. Oh, I know. I probably should turn back on the guidelines. There we go. Just right over there. Not a very far taxi. So yes, do join us tomorrow, P-38 Lightning, Burbank. We will be talking a little bit about the history of Burbank and their role with Lockheed during World War II. Some fascinating information there. Well, fascinating to me and maybe to a few other people, but I get it. Not everybody wants to hear about that sort of stuff, but guess what? You're going to hear it anyway. So yeah, 6:30 Eastern, 11:30 UK. We will be getting ready for that flight. That will kick off our Lightning flights going to former Army Air Corps airfields. We will be flying in California first. We'll be going to some areas that I'm very familiar with and some that I'm not very familiar with. So, do join us for that. We'll be flying in the California Cutie as we tour bits of California in the Lightning. All right. Oops. Oh, stepped a little short there. Oh, come on, plane. Now you don't want to act like a sports car. Before you were like just itching to go. All right, there we are. All right, 52-minute flight. Let me put that in my tracker real quick, and then we will wrap things up. Uh, 3, 5. All right. So yeah, I'm well over 400 hours in the sim, but yeah, the tracker has been broken in the in-sim tracker is just a big old mess. But oh, Peter, I haven't picked that one up yet, but hope your day is going. Oh, well, thank you, Vengeful Sweet. Yeah, definitely. If you have a chance to get it, by all means. The Lightning is absolutely fantastic. It's fun to fly. The startup is a little bit, because the right engine especially sometimes will not start appropriately. But it's, but yeah, absolutely fantastic design. The same crew that made the Spitfire, so I'm sure more improvements will come out for it. Oh, nice old Crankman. Congratulations. So yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll should be a nice little flight from Burbank to San Luis Obispo. So should be some nice scenery along the way as well. So I'm gonna try to time it that we'll have a nice sunrise flight. So we'll leave Burbank just as the sun's coming up, and then we'll fly up to San Luis Obispo, and the sun should be up definitely by the time we land there. So it should be nice lighting and scenery and all that along the way. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, folks. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the 13 likes, and thank you to new subs. So this concludes our Friday viewer requested flights for today. We'll be here tomorrow in the Lightning, so do join us for that. Enjoy the rest of your Friday morning, afternoon, evening, early Saturday morning, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you all for coming in. Until then, peace, live long and prosper.